Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 6.1 in class practice day 2. Remember to simplify the following exponential expressions by using the properties of exponents. You can revert to your notes that we just finished taking, and answers may only contain positive exponents. Okay, you hear that? Positive exponents. Now, in the past, we know a lot of people get confused like, well, there's all these rules. What do I have to do first? In general, you should always try to distribute first. If you need to move any negative exponents, and then the last thing would be to start combining. Okay, so in general, those are the things that you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on these really good so we can take good notes. All right, so 2 to the 0 times 5 to the 0. Remember, if your exponent 0, your base turns into 1. Well, look, the next one, my exponent 0, so my base turns into 1. And so I'm left with 1 times 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. All right, number 2. My exponent 0, so my base, and remember my base is whatever is in front of the exponent. This whole thing is in front. So that whole thing is now 1. Okay, number 3. Number 3 is where we have to be careful. Okay, because your base turns into 1. This negative sign is not part of my base. If it was, it would be in parentheses like number 2 was. But since it's not, that negative sign just comes straight down, and my base, which is the r, turns to 1. And so our answer is negative 1. All right, number 4. Now, there's nothing going on with that negative 5, so I'm just going to bring the negative 5 down. My exponent 0, so my base, which is the 4, turns to 1. That minus sign, I'm just going to bring it down. Okay, so the minus signs I just brought down. The plus sign, we just brought it down. Your base, so everything in there, whether it's 1/2, negative 364.675, whatever that is, your base turns into 1. So now we're left with negative 5 plus 1 minus 1. If you need to use a calculator, go ahead. Hopefully you don't, and you should get negative 5. Okay, now let's start getting into some fun stuff with negatives. Okay, number 5, we got negative 2w to the negative 6 times 3y 4. All right, so the first thing we said, if your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. So I'm only talking about my exponent that goes with my base. Negative 2 is not part of that, okay? So I have to drop something, and I'm going to draw my fraction line, okay? So what we just did, that's our only negative exponent. Everything else stays, and that w to the 6th came to the bottom. Okay, and once it moves to the bottom, it's now positive. Okay, so is there things we can combine? Yeah, negative 2 times 3. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And we cannot do anything with the y to the 4th and the w to the 6th because they have different bases. So that's our answer, negative 6 y to the 4th over w to the 6th. All right, number 6. If your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. And both of those exponents are negative. Okay? Now, our numbers right here, we can multiply those together. So negative 1/3 times 18. If you plug that into your calculator, you get negative 6. And then we bring down the w to the 3rd and x to the 7th. And there's nothing you can do with that, guys. Nothing. Okay? So since I can't do anything, because the bases are different, that's our final answer. Negative 6 over w to the 3rd power, x to the 7th power. All right, number 7. Now the top looks fine. I need to remember that that n has an exponent of 1. But I do have some negative exponents on the bottom, so my exponents are negative. They're on the bottom, so I need to bring them to the top. All right, so the black numbers are what was already there. And now we're adding to the top m to the 5th and n cubed. So once they come to the top, boom, positive now. Okay? And now all I'm going to do is the rules of exponents, so we're going to start combining. All right, m squared and m to the 5th gives us a total of m to the 7th. And then n to the 1st and n to the 3rd gives us n to the 4th. All right, number 8. The first thing we're going to worry about is our negative exponents, okay? If our exponents are negative, we drop them like it's hot. If they're already on the bottom, we bring them to the top, okay? So that's the first thing I'm doing. That negative 4 stays there, the 20 stays there, a cubed, that stays there. But we moved b to the 6 on top, and then we brought down a squared b1, okay? Now we can start combining our rules. I have negative 4 over 20. And when we reduce that, it reduces to negative 1/5. Okay? Now, on the bottom, you can combine your a's. You have a cubed times a squared, which gives us a total of a to the 5th power. And now looking at your b's, who wins, the top or the bottom? The top wins. And the top wins by 5. Okay, so our final answer is negative 1b to the 5th all over 5 times a to the 5th. And remember, you don't have to have that 1 there. Since it's just a 1, you can have it there or you don't. It really doesn't matter. All right, number 9. Remember, we've got a negative exponent, so we're going to have to distribute, but we want to distribute to everything inside. Okay? So once we distribute that, we have new exponents, negative 1 and negative 1. My exponents are negative. We're going to drop it like it's hot. Put the fraction bar there. So now when I move those, I have 2n. Those are both to the 1st power, so I'm not going to write the 1. But on the top, we have to keep a 1 there. Okay? All right, number 10. we need to distribute. And when we distribute, we get new exponents. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20, and 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Okay? So if our exponent's negative, we drop it like it's hot. And if it's already on the bottom, we bring it to the top. So when we rewrite this, that y to the 10th came up, and x to the 20th went down. And remember, once we move, we don't have any negative exponents. Okay? All right, we're just doing a couple more. So remember that everything inside has an exponent, and we need to distribute to everything. So when we rewrite this, okay, we have the 3, the k, and the h. All of those get new exponents. Negative 2, 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, and negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Okay? If your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. If it's already on the bottom, you bring it to the top. Okay, so that h to the 14th is on the top. And on the bottom, we have, oh, hold on a second, guys. Sorry, so on the bottom, we have that 3 squared h over, or k18. 18 or 16? Sorry, 16. Okay, now, we're not done because there's one thing that we can do. You always want to simplify your numbers. Okay, so h to the 14th stays. 3 squared is 9. And then we have k to the 16th. Okay? We can't do anything else because h and k are different bases. All right, we're only going to do 2 more of these. We're doing 12 and 16. So let's take a look at 12. Remember that negative 2, or the 2, has an exponent. And that exponent is 1. Oh, hold on, this isn't working. Guys, pardon me one more time as I pause the video. Okay, so that 2, the 2 has an exponent of 1. And now we need to distribute this negative 3, and remember, we distribute it to everything. So the first thing we have to do is give everything a new variable, or a new exponent, I'm sorry. Our bases stay the same. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. And then negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Okay? So if our exponent is negative, we have to drop it like it's hot. But if it's already on the bottom, we bring it to the top. Okay? So that N12 is still there. Nothing changed about that. M18, and then the 2 cubed came down. You might be like, yo, Mr. Grice, I'm done. And I'm going to be like, not so much. It's close, but it's not 100%. Okay? First off, the top. The top needs to be in alphabetical order. Okay, so alphabetical order, if you need to sing your ABCs, go ahead. But M comes first, and then the N. All right, and the last thing is the bottom, 2 cubed. We know what 2 cubed is. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which gives us 8. And then that is your 100% final answer. Okay? So on a test or a quiz, multiple choice, they are always going to be written in alphabetical order. Now, if Ms. Carranza and I are grading it, we might be nice. Okay? It just depends how lucky you feel. Okay, number 16. Number 16 is going to be the last one that we cover. Okay? So this one, there's no distribution or anything, but we do have a lot of negative exponents. So if your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. And we actually have 2 of those. And then if it's already on the bottom, you bring it to the top. All right? So on the top, we already had an m squared. We brought up 4 to the first power, and then an r to the 6th. Okay? And remember that 4 to the first power is really just 4. Okay, we brought down 2 cubed n to the 4th. Okay? Now, on the top, nothing changed. But on the bottom, we know that 2 cubed is 8. 8n to the 4th. And are we done? No. We need to reduce our fraction. 4/8 is the same thing as 1/2. And you do not have to have the 1 there. Okay? You don't, because we also have the m squared r6 and then n to the 4th. So this is your final answer. Okay? Now, I would highly recommend that you try the other ones to see how you do. Maybe check with Ms. Carranza or myself to see how you did on them. But that'll be it for the 6.1 in-class practice, day 2. Remember that your homework is on the opposite side of this, okay? There you go. It's right there. If my computer would turn to that page. Okay, so you got all these problems. Your homework is evens. If you do them all, it's extra credit. So if you need any help, come find Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.